Real ID requirements went into effect for travelers today at airports across the country. Our Paul Drews is live at Hawaii's busiest airport to show us what that means for those taking off today. Paul.
Well, here at the Daniel K. Inouye International Airport, travelers didn't see much of a difference getting through airport security. That's because many had this important travel item, a state license with a Real ID certification.
Some travelers planned ahead for this day, like Joseph Rodriguez from San Diego, who got his driver's license 2 years ago.
When I first got my driver's license, they asked me if I wanted a Real ID, and I knew I'd need it eventually, so I said yeah, and I signed up for it.
But his friend Gabriel Rosales never got his.
Just didn't think of it, just didn't know I would need one.
So instead, he had to show alternative identification in order to fly home from a graduation trip to Hawaii.
I have my passport.
That was the case for many travelers, not only in Hawaii, but across the country.
We found that most people are prepared. I saw a lot of new passports coming out of people's bags and pockets. I saw a lot of Real ID compliant driver's licenses.
On Oahu alone, there's been a 96% compliance rate for Real IDs. That means more than 640,000 residents have verified their identity, while less than 24,000 people have not.
What it does is it proves that when people show us a photo ID, they are who they say they are. That's important because identity verification is a cornerstone of aviation security. We need to make sure the person who purchased the ticket, who was vetted against the no-fly list, is the person standing in front of our TSA officer.
She said having a Real ID won't speed up the security process at the airport.
I had no problem. I just went right through, and that was it.
But not having the proper ID will slow things down at the airport.
They were allowed to travel, but many of them had to go through additional screening.
Lori says she doesn't know how long TSA will allow people without the proper ID to go through additional screenings and still fly. So now is a good time to get your Real ID before you head to the airport.
And you can, if you'd like more information, you can go to tsa.gov to find out more about Real ID requirements and those alternative forms of identification that you need to take off here at the airport. Reporting live at the Daniel K. Inouye International Airport, Paul Drews, Island News.